Today, everybody, Brad here, quantlabsnet.com. Today is April 28th. I want to talk about two articles that come up on this usual e-financial careers. This one on hedge fund quant recruiter that sent 500 graduate CVs, five were accepted. So that's a 1% ratio of those resumes that get past the recruiter, right? Just to get to the recruiter is one thing, to get an interview from the recruiter is another. Recruiter's accepting you and then sends it off to the hedge fund. Those are the elements here we're talking about. It is a lottery of lottery. The other article I want to talk about is if you're still at Goldman Sachs, now your job should be safe. Okay, let's talk about the first one here. Again, this is found on efinancialcareers.com. First one here, getting a graduate job in quant trading and technology at hedge fund is hard. Okay, so even if you have like a graduate degree, funds like Millennium, Balasni, I can never pronounce it, but that's becoming a hot hedge fund right now. Most official acceptance rates of less than 1%. Unclear how many of those are actually elite candidates. Recruiters suggest the situation for top students, unfortunately, doesn't seem much better. Yikes. So if you're one of these self-learning people, you have a very, very slim chance of getting these small, a very small chance of getting in these established hedge funds and HFT shops. One hedge fund recruiter, speaking anonymously, told us that for one client, he submitted 500 candidates, all top tier universities, with first or 2.1s within STEM. Of those, five were given offers. So these are the top of the top 1% of those submitted 500. There are a huge amount of graduates with computer science, and look at that, huge amount of graduates, both in UK and US. That's not including the foreign lands. So computer science, engineering, math degrees who can't find work. Christina Key, former hedge fund founder at FinTech Data Bento. Okay, that's the supplier of all the established um, data feed you can get for options and futures right from the CME. Very expensive. But social media has spoken to students with perfect GPAs, internships at tier one shops who still struggle to find a role. Now, this is just the graduates. This isn't necessarily a problem for the funds themselves. Recruiters said that very top graduates still find their way to Jane Street, Citadel, and the like. Almost an obsession amongst them to work at these firms. While the AI revolution is thought to have impacted mid and low level hiring in quant finance, the recorder has said these firms won't be affected. It's a the lesser known and less prestigious firms will have to compete hard. So again, if you're going after at the Jane Street, Citadel, which are usually the top paying, you usually have to have a brand behind you. Look at John Fawcett, the founder of Quantopian, got hired by Citadel. Same with Herb Sutter, the guru of C++ got hired by Citadel. You have to have a brand behind you, or you have to have already a verified track record of your trading capabilities in order just remotely to get chances of getting hired. So no matter what coding messiah, hint, on YouTube that you listen to, you're paying money into the bucket of nonsense. Because if you cannot come or you're not coming from a top tier school, the chances of you are very hard. Okay, so let's continue. Even only 1% of top tier candidates get offers. That is that. What is that distinguishes them? This is hot, very very important to know. Recruiter said that ultimately it's down to a few thinking performance. So raw thinking performance and ability to pick something up quickly in interviews. So if you're sitting there on your chat GPT trying to figure out the answer, you're gone. These firms often have a wide array of confusing brain teasers to just that, to test that. Olympiad medals for quant researchers and open source contributions for quant developers are also tried and tested methods of standing out. Everything else is a waste of money, a waste of time. Don't even go there. There is a potential option if you're willing to go through it. Recruiter said that your specific universe doesn't matter, but most of the brightest do go to the top universities, so it's a good indicator. And I keep saying this. MIT, top source of talent for both Jane Street and Citadel, despite their latter of saying they're school agnostic in its approach. Okay, so don't believe that. They'll be hiring from places like MIT. Entry level elite talent, unusual phenomena is also emerging. There are rumors that major hedge funds are handing out non-paid compete clauses to their interns. On levels FYI, one PhD said they've got a 3-month non-compete period that's longer than their actual internship. I don't know what that means, but they are definitely exploiting the situation. Let's go over to the other article here. If you're still at Goldman now, your job should be safe for a few months. What does that mean? Um, as we reported late March, again, this is April 28th, Goldman brought forward its annual round of, look at that, annual round of job cuts for underperformers. So if you're just barely getting by going into the second quarter, you're going to be gone. Suggestions that cuts would be occurred in May uh, for Goldman's unlucky employees have been informed of their fate. Whether they have gone or not depends upon local employment law and needs for consultation periods. The intention was always to make the cuts directly after Easter. We call this the Darwinian process. Remove the weak players from the herd every day. That guy Walsh started that back when he was CEO at GE. Goldman declined to comment. Between 3 to 5% of Goldman staff were let go, or around 1,800 people. And Microsoft's doing this now, and I bet you other companies are doing it as well, without um, really publicizing it. The past few years, the firm made its annual round of job cuts in the third quarter. Last year, similar number of people would be let go in early September. Last week, cuts are thought to have disproportionately impacted Goldman's swollen population of VPs. Anybody can be a VP, both at Morgan Stanley and VP at Goldman. It looks good on a business card, but I don't know. As part of the broader cost-cutting move, Goldman is also said to be shunting managed directors to low-cost locations like Salt Lake City, meaning the staff who remain may still have their lives upended. Either you move or you're out. In the advance of the cuts, Goldman increased headcount by 100 people in the first quarter. So they're laying, for every person they hire, they're laying off 10 people. And yet we have not even talked about AI. Fancy that, because AI is a big strategy here, but nobody's talking about it yet. The investor call earlier this month, CFO Dennis Coleman said Goldman is committed to achieving an efficient ratio at 60% over a 3-year period. The efficiency ratio costs as a percentage of revenue, brutal as that sounds, was above the 60.6% in Q1. Q2 revenue falls as a result, tariff chaos, the implication that costs will need to be cut again this year. Last October, WSJ said Goldman typically cuts between 2 to 7% workforce annually, depending upon the company performance. That's affected by industry, affected by the economy, blah, blah, blah. So there could be another 2 to 3% to go. Okay, so we've talked about um, trying to get in there, and yet with probably the most prestigious of all the financial institutions outside of Citadel, we sit here and go, well, if you're still a bottom performer, you still have to contend with and compete for your job. So how do we get around this? Is it a waste of time learning the computing, computer science, the math, all that. With the world of AI, I don't know. But if you're ambitious enough to do this on your own, to strengthen your own trading skills, then it's worthwhile. AI enables you to learn all that. But if you want to trade on your own, do it well, you know where to go with my email newsletter. Okay, quantlabsnet.com. Pretty simple. Quantlabsnet. Okay, .com, and then just go into the Learn tab, or right here, and fill out your info. I don't release your info to anybody. Okay, so you'll quickly learn what I'm doing, and I'm proving now. You can take a report, turn it into a software engineering solution with AI. Okay, but the key here is it's okay to be part of some junky free community, like on Discord or Telegram. Bunch of just we'll just leave it. It's not very productive. You can go around chasing every shiny toy on the planet, and you're still not going to go anywhere. The only way you're going to find a really good group is to go into a paid group with other high achievers that want to talk about their solution only behind a paywall because it's not going out to the general public. That they're willing to do. And let me remind you that with that, AI will never beat that. AI will never be able to get access to it because it's behind that paywall. So there you go. Those are your options. Hopefully that'll help you out. And the reality of where we're at with both AI hanging on to a job and just trying to get into these high paying jobs. If you want to know more info, just go on my blog. I'll put it in the description and I'll put both articles there for your browsing. Thanks for watching.